So far, I have done so many videos on different things. I know I haven't discussed many things like yogas and other stuff, but I think we can actually start doing charts together. So today I'm going to do Meghan Markle because today, Monday, the 8th of March, is International Women's Day. And I kind of want everybody, this is goes across the board to the females and the males to just say that generally speaking, because women are the mothers of the planet, anybody who's got a good relationship with women will gain in life anyway because you are making your Venus stronger. And obviously, Meghan Markle has been through a difficult time recently, and this is another thing that you might want to ponder upon because we always see our own difficult periods as really massively impacting us in a negative way. But truthfully, even people who have lots of money, lots of power, they have these periods as well. It's a natural thing because one dasha will give you really great fruits. The next dasha is one that you're ducking and diving and learning and growing as an individual. So I'm going to just kind of like share her chart with you. So Meghan Markle is Cancer Ascendant, and she has, obviously Cancer Ascendant means that Moon is the ruler of her chart. So we can obviously, we're going to have a look at her chart from Cancer, and also her Moon is in Virgo, so we should be studying Virgo as well. So very, very first thing you want to see is that the ruler of the first house, Cancer, has gone into the third house. So third house is all about the arts. So she's an artist. She's a creative soul. It just gives her very great oration as well. So she's a great public speaker. She will be very good at detail because just because it's in Virgo. She will be good with her hands because her Moon has gone into Hasta. Hasta is a nakshatra that's ruled by the Moon. So she's very, very feminine. She's very capable of doing things for, making things, creative arts and crafts. Very good. And so let's start with the chart from Cancer. So her first house. So immediately you'll see that she has Mercury very close degrees at 12 degrees 5, and her ascendant is 1321 in Pushya in Cancer. So we know that Mercury gets directional strength in the first house, is where it feels really, really strong. Anytime you have a combination of Mercury and the Sun, then you know that this person is highly intelligent. And although they, they sort of, I always think that despite the fact that most planets get combusted by the Sun, one planet that it doesn't affect it as badly is Mercury. Mercury does pretty well, up to 6 degrees close to the Sun, and this is like just over 6 degrees. So I wouldn't say she was particularly suffering from nervousness or respiratory diseases or allergies or anything like that. No, not at all. But this will be somebody who is quite intellectual, who's quite sort of intelligent and logical about the way that she sort of approaches things, if you like. And I just want you to just look at the Parivartana Yoga that's going on. Parivartana Yoga is when two planets have swapped houses. So this makes both planets working as though they are within their own house. So Moon has moved into Virgo, ruled by Mercury, and Mercury has ruled into the first house, Cancer. So that already, you know that this person is highly artistic and will be a great speaker. And Rahu, Mercury and the Ascendant, all three of them are in Pushya. Pushya is a very nurturing nakshatra. It's very charitable. It loves to learn all the time as well. And so Rahu being on her ascendant makes her famous. And it gives that intelligence that comes with the sun, and Mercury magnifies her first house. So you can see that in the first house. Sun rules her second house of family and your self-value, resources. So you can see that she makes her own money. Second house ruler of income going into the first. She makes her own income. She's good at making her own income. And that she's quite solar as well. She's quite consistent, and she can be like a ray of sunshine and in helping people as well. Mercury, the third house and 12th house ruler being in the first. So obviously she's very friendly. She's probably quite into games. She likes to communicating with her friends. She's probably quite a good writer actually as well. And Rahu is there actually magnifying everything. The problem having Mercury in the first house, although it has got directional strength, so it's very focused, is that it's also the 12th house ruler. So this could cause her some losses and also bring about some very secret enemies to her as well. So these are the things that she will always be dealing with in life, having those secret enemies there. And Rahu being there expands that as well. So you can see there are so many good things about that placement, but so many things are quite difficult as well. We go to our second house. I just want to point something out because I will be coming to videos for this. If you have a look on in Cancer, it says there's like the border around the chart is where the Ascendant, Sun, Mercury and Rahu are. It says first house, Cancer, and it's got number 39. That is the Ashtakavarga of the first house. Ashtakavarga is calculation points given to every house. Once kind of like every planet gives something, and the Ascendant as well, and that makes up the strength of the house. And so you can see her first house is really, really strong. So she is able to make things happen. She's a mover and shaker, as we call it. So second house of income and family. So second house of hers will be Leo. So Leo is also a royal house. So you can see that she's got her Brigubindu point. I've already done a video on that. It just means a destiny point. So she has, I would say, definitely in a previous life she was in some kind of royal family, and she has got karma with royal family just purely because the BP is in there, and also Venus, the ruler of her 4th and 11th house, also in there as well. So that kind of tells me that in some previous lifetime she was from a very well-to-do family, aristocratic, royalty family. So this is how things work out. So you can see Venus being in the second house, so she has got nice speech, nice voice, but also she'd be very nice to her family, very gentle and motherly towards her family as well. That's also an indication of her mum being quite, sweet and very much into the family as well. And so now we go on to the third house. Third house for her is obviously a really busy house because this lady is all about artistic, creative ventures. Really, she's very. She's also very good at because obviously this is a Mercury house and having 3 planets sitting there. So she is quite good at whatever she does it to perfection, literally. Having Saturn there, Saturn does really, really well in Virgo, and Jupiter as well really helps. The moon there supports the moon. So this is the lady who can make a lot of differences, because if you look, what happens is obviously moon rules the first house, but the 7th and 8th house are ruled by Saturn, and Jupiter rules the 6th and the 9th house. So this is where you actually can see, okay, so this lady, Moon Saturn, you already know that gives somebody depression. So she, obviously Jupiter supports her moon there, so but she goes through bouts of self-doubt and confidence issues. She can get depressed. She can feel quite heavy as though the burden of life. And obviously it's the house of media, social media as well. So you can see she's really sensitive. You know, moon is sensitive. Generally, Cancer ascendants are very sensitive, and to have that house bombarded with negativity, because Saturn is not just the ruler of the 7th house, but it's also the ruler of 8th house. So it's like enemies, secret enemies, people behind her back, actually making things difficult for her. 8th house is also the spouse's family, so it's like her in-laws making things difficult. They're actually putting things in the press that, or it's not necessarily just her in-laws, but it could be people connected to them are actually putting things, spinning things in the media that might be untrue. And then you have Jupiter there expanding all of that as well. And it's interesting enough. Obviously, this Saturn rules the 7th house as well of the spouse. So there's like negative things being always in the media about her spouse as well. It's giving him also lots of sort of difficulties as well. Jupiter for her is the ruler of the 6th and the 9th house. So 9th house is house of happiness and good karma and your dharma and further education and literally faraway lands, your belief system. It's in the 3rd house. Jupiter does not do well neither does the moon actually. Neither moon or Jupiter do well in Virgo. It's a very difficult house for both of them. So, you know, Meghan herself, the Ascendant Lord's moon is there, so she's agitated with the whole situation. And Jupiter as well. Jupiter rules her 9th house of father. So you can see that the father is also spinning things behind the scenes as well. And it's very interesting because although Jupiter is really friendly towards the moon and her ascendant ruler, and also, you know, a benefic, but here it becomes a little bit difficult as a planet because it also rules her 6th house. So 6th house is arguments, you know, sort of like confrontation, enemies, people who, you know, sort of dig some dirt on you. So, you know, the father is there as well, not really helping it, expanding that issue as well. So yeah, issues there with the in-laws, issues there with the father as well, who's not really creating very good. 3rd house, generally speaking, is a difficult house anyway for you to go into into the 3rd house. You know, moon. It's a house of effort. You know, you have to put a lot of effort to achieve anything. So she's constantly, it's like climbing a greasy mountain, really. So as much as she's trying to pull up, it comes back down again. So, but luckily, you know, her ascendant is very strong. So I do, you know, I just, you know, sometimes I think it's really nice if we could really sort of look at some of this chart and just have heart for them, you know, because you can just see that this is pretty difficult for her. You know, it's difficult how things are. So if we now go to K2 rules her 5th house of and it's gone into the 7th house. So obviously her and Harry have been previously connected in some way. They have some old karma with each other, and you can see that also with her, you know, she's got some enemies that she's brought into this lifetime as well, because your 7th house is not just your spouse, it's also like your opposition as well. So she's got some karmic issues with people that around her as well, other people, because it's house of other people, business partners too. And then we're going to go to Mars. Mars is obviously, for a Cancer ascendant, is the Yoga Karaka planet. So it's very, very strong. So he rules an angle and a trine, 5th house, and also the 10th house. So it's a very important planet for her. And it's in the 12th house of loss loss of sort of status, loss of sort of like, if you like, the good things in life. But it can also indicate that she's, because it's in, you know, in the 12th house, that she gains success abroad as well. You know, 12th house is faraway land, so her career could take off overseas as well. But it's definitely house of secret enemies, and people sort of like staring the pudding behind the scenes for her as well. I do feel really really sorry for her looking at this. And also it just means that those enemies, because of that, she can't sleep. She literally is paralyzed by these issues that are going on around her. She's currently going through Jupiter period. Jupiter ruling her 6th and 9th house, obviously bringing out more enemies. She's being scrutinized by media because Jupiter is in the 3rd house. But if we read her chart from Jupiter, Jupiter obviously in the 1st house in Virgo, because if we read it from Virgo, you see it gets directional strength, because it will be 4th and 7th house ruler in the 1st. So she's feeling really happy at home and setting up her new home with her spouse and family is giving her lots of happiness. And the 5th house is also house of which 5th and 6th house ruled by Saturn. If we look at it from Virgo being the Ascendant, you can see that there's a lot of sort of joy with children with her as well, coming in, you know, into her life. But again, you know, Saturn rules the 6th house of disagreements, fights, things to do with, you know, legal stuff, so legal battles as well. But from this point, if you look at it, read the chart from the Dasha ruler Jupiter, you'll see that actually Mars is then in the 10th house, which gives Mars a lot of strength. And pretty soon in transit, you will see that Mars will be heading, and she'll have her Mars return. So she'll be able to tackle those issues a lot better as well. And yeah, and then if you read it from there, you can actually see that you know, she'll have a lot of gains. Her 11th house will be packed, Rahu, Mercury and Sun being there. There'll be an 11th house of gains. And then the 12th house will be, Venus will be there. So Venus will be exalted in the 12th house. So she'll actually will be really happy, and her and Harry will have like very much like an enjoyable time together as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next.